Hello, guys. Welcome back to another edition of Talking Baseball with the Earle brothers. My name is Nicholas Earle. I'm joined here with my brother Tim. And today, you ready to do some voting, Tim? You ready to do something where everyone's going to sing "Kumbaya" and agree with us? And
for sure.
Now, I think we're going to have differing opinions on some positions.
Maybe.
But we're going to try to come up with we'll come up with our ballots. Try to cooperate and come up with who we think is what we think is the best ballot.
Yep.
So we ready to get started?
Let's do it.
All right. So this is phase 1 of All-Star Game voting. It opened up on June the 4th. It'll go till June the 26th, and then I believe the top 3
depends on the position.
3 or 5.
I thought it was 2, but
from each position, I think it's 3. Advance to the second to phase 2, which we will do a phase 2 video as well.
Yep.
That's June 30th to July 2nd, so we'll have to do that. That'll be a quick turnaround video. But
maybe even a live stream.
Maybe we'll see. But today we'll be voting for who we think right now should be the All-Stars in the All-Star Game. I'm going to click it so instead of A to Z, we have OPS leaders. So we're going to start with first base on the American League side here. We have Jonathan Aranda, who's hitting .314 with a 787 OPS. He's been really strong for the Tampa Bay Rays so far. Spencer Torkelson's been awesome too, an .843 OPS, 16 home runs and 47 RBIs for the first place Detroit Tigers. Rodney Garcia, not as much of a sample size, but he's playing primary first base for the Red Sox right now. Paul Goldschmidt's been awesome. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has been pretty good. That's just about as far as I go, because then we have like Nolan Shenawell, Vinny Pasquantino, Carlos Santana, Kurtz Kamenick, and then the other guys aren't really worth considering here. I did my ballot a little while ago. My vote was for Spencer Torkelson, and I'm sticking with Torkelson here. Do you agree with me, or do you think somebody else should be in that first base spot?
I think you can make the argument for either one of those top 2 guys, and I want to go with Jonathan Aranda. And the main reason behind that one is every team's got to get an All-Star, and I believe that the All-Star from Tampa Bay is going to be Aranda.
I think so too, but I think he'll be a reserve. He won't be a starter. Like he'll make it into phase 2. I think right. So we'll be having this exact debate at the end of this month when we discuss phase 2, and we'll be discussing Paul Goldschmidt versus Torkelson versus Aranda again. And I'm probably going to stick with Torkelson. I think Torkelson's been the best first baseman. He is really broken out for a Detroit Tigers team that's the best in the American League. So for me, I think the obvious answer is Torkelson, but I can absolutely see an argument for Aranda.
I'm going Aranda.
Would Torkelson be your second place?
Of course, okay. Torkelson to be the second place as we're just flipped on those. Yeah. Although I would not be surprised if Goldschmidt somehow got in there too.
Okay, just because I have control, I'm going to click Torkelson. But hey, we'll fight it out on a bunch of other ones here. One I don't think we're going to fight it out much on. How about first base? And yeah, maybe my Mets bias comes in here, but Pete Alonso has been the best first baseman in National League so far this year. Yes, Freddie Freeman's had a .347 batting average and a .996 OPS. He's also played less games. 17 home runs, the leader in RBIs in all of baseball, and I believe the leader in doubles as well, Pete Alonso, and he's up there towards the top of home runs. For me, this is Pete Alonso. I think it's pretty simple. For me, I'm going with the polar bear for first base.
I was going to go Luis. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, it's Alonso.
Get out of here.
It's Alonso. And mainly are the Mets as good as they are right now without Alonso? No. And I think the answer is no. I feel like Alonso is the best first baseman in baseball at the moment. Yes, you can make the argument for Freddie, but at the same time, I'm going to keep making the argument for the polar bear. So I'm going Alonso for my ballot too.
All right. We'll advance to second base for the American League. And this is another one. When I made my voting, I went back to the Tigers for second base as well. Gleyber Torres is my starting second baseman for the American League right now. 5 home runs, 30 RBIs, a 770 OPS. It also shows how kind of weak the second base is for the American League. Willie Casher has been good, but he doesn't have the sample size. And same with Daniel Schneemann. Jazz has been hurt, but he's finally back. So I think he has an argument as well. Jazz Chisholm. I don't like that 214 batting average though. Even though we're not a batting average podcast.
We're not.
I think that's one of the most overrated stats in baseball because I would rather somebody hit 215 for me and give me 40 home runs than hit 300 and give me 400 singles. Like I don't need you hitting singles every time. I need players who can drive in runs. For me, Gleyber Torres is my top pick, but not too far behind him. Brennan Lau from the Tampa Bay Rays is somebody that I kind of had circled as well. But for me, Gleyber Torres is my pick.
And I will say this is one of the main reasons why I went with Jonathan Aranda over Torque is I think it's one or the other getting a starting spot. I don't see both of them getting a starting spot. And I do like Gleyber Torres. I will mention a very, very close second for me. It's Jackson Holiday. I really like I think Jackson Holiday will make the All-Star game primarily because who else on the Orioles deserve it right now?
Gunnar.
All right, Gunner's up there too, but honestly, I could see both of them getting in. I could definitely see that, but it's Gleyber Torres unless Torque gets the first base. If Torque gets first,
both can get the starting one.
I just don't see both getting it. That's just me.
Tigers fans, show up and vote. You have the best team in the American League right now. Show up and vote. Give me both Torkelson and Gleyber Torres.
I agree. I think both of them deserve it. It's just hard for me on a small market team because Detroit's not a big market team.
I mean, neither is Kansas City. We saw them vote in 1 million people, back in 2015?
Hey, then do your job, Detroit. Do your job.
There you go. National League side, Ketel Marte is the top guy there at 1,000 OPS. He hasn't played much this year, though. Like his 12 home runs, 22 RBIs. He just had that. By the way, that's a crazy ratio. If I'm Marte, I'm looking at my teammates saying, I'm hitting jacks. Can you guys get on base, please? And for me, obviously, it's Jeff McNeil. I'm just kidding. When I did my ballot the first time, and I'm going to stick with it here, I think St. Louis is going a little underappreciated here so far this year, and I'm not somebody who's high on them at all or anything along those lines. I think Brendan Donovan is your starting second baseman for the National League. I think that the Cardinals give him a little bit of love, and I'm giving a little bit of love here. Give me Brendan Donovan here.
I could see the argument for either him or Ketel Marte. Real quick, are you able to unclick Donovan? Because there was another guy that I wanted to mention. I wouldn't be surprised if Tommy Edman got considerations. He's been fantastic as well this year, and he's on a Dodgers team that everybody's going to vote Dodgers, so I wouldn't be surprised if he happened to make his way up there as well. But no, I think Brandon Donovan deserves it, although Ketel Marte is having a great year.
He's just been hurt.
He's been hurt, so
I think that's going to hurt.
More consistency. The best ability is availability, and Brandon Donovan has been on it the entire year.
Yep. We'll move on to third base. I think this one's a pretty simple one for me, especially after the Bregman injury.
Yes. Very easy.
It's Jose Ramirez.
Yes.
331 batting average, 12 home runs, 33 RBIs, and 938 OPS. I think he's the best third baseman in baseball, not just the American League, in all of baseball.
I agree.
He is a menace on the base paths. He's elite defensively. And for me, there's nowhere else you can go. I think the only, and I'm not going back to the Tigers, I think you can make an argument for Zach McKinstry. He's been really solid this year. His OPS is a little low, but he's nowhere near Jose Ramirez. I'm not saying he is, but by the way, shout out Juan Moncada having an 841 OPS there. Michael Garcia has been one of the only decent hitters on Kansas City as well. And Isaac Paredes is loving the Crawford boxes. So I think you can make arguments for those guys to be reserves. But when it comes to the starter, Jose Ramirez, it starts and ends with him.
I feel like if Bregman was healthy, he would be able to compete with them.
That would be a fun competition.
This one's going to be the quickest one. It's J-Ram and J-Ram only. I feel like third base is both kind of easy.
Yeah, I think on the other side, it's Manny Machado.
I can make the argument for Eugenio Suarez, but no, it's on the National League side, I agree. It is Manny Machado.
I think Suarez is too inconsistent, but for an All-Star game setting, you like somebody who can hit home runs at will, and that's absolutely what you would get with any Eugenio Suarez. By the way, it feels like Manny Machado had 3 home runs. I think he had 3 home runs heading into the month of June or something along those lines, and he's gone on an absolute power surge. he's hitting 320 as well. Like, Manny Machado is having one of the best just overall hitting years of his career right now. And just the power hasn't been there as much. Yep. But yeah, for me, it's Manny Machado for the third base spot. We're ready to head to shortstop?
Yeah, and I feel like American League shortstop is the most difficult one.
This is an insane crop just overall in baseball because you start it with Jacob Wilson, Jeremy Pena, Bobby Witt, Zach Neto, Gunnar Henderson, and then you can throw Volpe in there as well.
I'm not throwing Volpe in there.
I mean, I'm just giving him a little bit of his flowers because he's definitely had a better season than I expected, which wasn't very high. But yeah, give me the guy who's hitting 366 right now and who's going to be the Athletics probably low. No, he won't be their. He might be their lone All-Star.
I disagree.
I don't think Mason Miller gets in.
I think Mason Miller has a shot, but I also see players like Brent Rooker getting in.
Brent Rooker,
and Lawrence Butler could possibly be a reserve. But you got to think this is even Sodi might get in. Like this is an Oakland team. Yes, they haven't been playing well, but they've been hitting.
They've got some fun.
They've got some solid bats. I'm gonna go against you. I want to go for a player that without him this year, there is zero chance his team is as good as it is right now. Jeremy Pena is having an absolutely amazing year, and it's just going underappreciated. With the departure of Bregman, with the departure of Tucker, with Yordan Alvarez on the IL right now, he has been the best hitter on that team, and it's not particularly close. I'm taking Jeremy Pena. I'm on the Jeremy Pena wagon.
That's not the debate I thought we were going to be having because we're arguing between two shortstops in the American League.
And one of them's not in there.
Bobby Witt makes the All-Star game.
I agree, but if we're looking at play, you also got to keep in mind how many players are going to make it from. Well, I guess you could say there's a couple pitchers for the Astros that are going to make it, or at least one with not Ben Brown. No, Hunter Brown. But I'm going to make the argument. I'm taking Jeremy Pena.
Would Jacob Wilson be your second?
I want to say Bobby Witt would be my second.
All right, then I will go with that because Jeremy Pena is my second. So we'll go with Jeremy Pena here. Not who I thought I would be clicking in for this video, but I could understand the argument.
And we're just and I am one that I'm not going to go off of name value.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
do not give a shit about name value.
And we'll do that exactly with this next in the National League here. I don't give a crap. Your name's Trey Turner. You're not getting my vote.
No.
And this one's pretty simple for me. I think it's pretty simple for you. It's about goddamn time Francisco Lindor makes the All-Star game with the New York Mets.
Yes.
And starts.
He's
been the best shortstop this year in baseball.
Yes, I'll make that.
I will die on that hill.
100% agree.
I think this is the year Francisco Lindor finally makes the All-Star game with the New York Mets. It's been bullshit that he hasn't been voted in the last couple of years. Players like Orlando Arcia making it over him and stuff like that. It's bullshit. That's all it really is. Francisco Lindor starts the All-Star game for the National League this year.
I'm 100% on board with you. And yes, I 100%. And I will say, I think catchers is easy too.
I think catcher is very easy. I'm just going to go like this because there's no one that shines a candle to what Cal Raleigh is doing this year. 265, 26 home runs, 53 RBIs for a 1 OPS. I think in 5 years we can make arguments that Cal Raleigh is the best catcher of all time if he continues this because he's doing that at the plate. And unlike Mike Piazza, unlike some of these really, really good hitting catchers, he's the best defensive catcher in baseball other than maybe Patrick Bailey. He gives you platinum-level defense behind the plate, and he's hitting like a designated hitter.
Yeah.
Like he is – I think if it wasn't for this Aaron Judge guy on the New York Yankees, Cal Raleigh's my MVP vote right now.
I can make the argument that Cal Raleigh can still win MVP.
I think it would be because of WAR, and it would be because a catcher WAR is better than a corner outfielder, And that's why he would have the better numbers at the end of the year than Aaron Judge. No, I'm not saying Aaron Judge is not the MVP. No, I'm not saying Cal Raleigh is the MVP.
No, we're just saying that if Cal Raleigh keeps going on his trajectory, because right now, if his season goes the exact way it's been going right now, he's going to hit 60-plus home runs, and he's going to have 140-plus RBIs.
Now, that's really difficult for a catcher to keep.
That's going to be very difficult for him to keep going. But that is where the numbers are heading.
Yeah.
And that is historic numbers for a catcher.
Yeah. Also, shout out Carlos Narvaez is having an awesome year with Boston, as so is Alejandro Kirk with the Toronto Blue.
Yes, but no,
neither
of them are close.
Yeah, and then this will be my first Dodger. I think it's the Fresh Prince of LA.
Yeah.
I think it's Will Smith. Finally gets an All-Star Game start. I don't know if he's ever started an All-Star Game. Also, shout out to Hunter Goodman. He might be the lone representative for the Colorado Rockies.
Him or Jake Bird.
Jake Bird, yeah. 11 home runs, 39 RBIs, 845 OPS. I think there's arguments for him to be the starting, or not the starting catcher, but the reserve catcher. Carson Kelly's been awesome as well, but for me, it's the Fresh Prince of LA and Will Smith.
I'm not even gonna make an argument with that one. I can make the argument for Carson Kelly, but I think it's Will Smith. Will Smith's been one of the best catchers in baseball the past, 8 years. Yes, he's been with the Dodgers that long. He's been nothing but solid. He's reliable. He's hits for average. He hits for power. Will Smith, 100%.
Yeah. And
you can go ahead and click that top guy in for the American League.
I already have. American League outfielders, Aaron Judge has already clicked in. Let's argue the next two.
Yep.
I think, and I want to throw a couple guys out there at you.
Yep.
Byron Buxton, it would be the first one I would throw out there. Matt Wallner doesn't have enough of a sample size, and OPS can be very skewed over a few at-bats. So actually, let's go back to the A to C. Fine. There's a couple guys I would want to throw out at you. I mean, sneaky having a good year, Harrison Bader, but I'm not going to go out on a limb there. Javier Baez has cooled down. Lawrence Butler's been interesting. Byron Buxton's the first name I want to throw at you. Kerry Bonds is the second one I want to throw at you. Kerry Carpenter there.
Mm-hmm.
Riley Green is another guy I want to throw at you there. Stephen Kwan is another one there. I'm trying to go through to see who else would be there. Tyler Soderstrom as well. Too bad he's been hurt. Mike Trout's could be in there. Taylor Ward, even though his batting average is a little.
Yeah, I'm about to say 204 batting.
18 home runs though. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
For me, two. It's Kerry Carpenter would be my first one, and my second one would be Stephen Kwan. I think Stephen Kwan needs to get the respect that he deserves.
Mm-hmm.
Those would be my next two. Is there anybody that you would put above Byron Buxton and Stephen Kwan?
I do like Stephen Kwan. There was scroll down again. I thought that Duran is definitely interesting. Jalen Duran.
He's not had.
Riley Green. Riley Green. I wanted in there.
I'm actually going to go back to
and that's another reason why I didn't choose multiple infielders for the Tigers. Is I liked Riley Green in there. Riley Green's been having an amazing year.
But you said Kerry Carpenter would be...
No, Riley Green. Riley Green and Stephen Kwan.
Okay, Stephen Kwan's in. All right.
And I like Riley Green.
All right, so then let's have the debate. I think Kerry Carpenter deserves it over Riley Green personally. The OPS is a little bit lower, but I feel like just impact for the Tigers, I would prefer Kerry Carpenter, but I can see the counting stats.
Look at the numbers.
I was going to say the counting stats are a little bit better for Riley Green.
Yeah, no, it's Riley Green. I understand you liking Kerry Carpenter. It's Riley Green. I don't think that one's as close as you think it is.
See, that's not the guy who I think you're going to make an argument for, because I think Tyler Soderstrom deserves.
I think Sodi can get in there as well, for sure.
Also, shout out to George Springer for having an awesome year right now in Toronto.
Yep. But no, I think Riley Green, Stephen Kwan, Aaron Judge is your starting.
All right. We'll flip to the National League. Want to have some fun? Because there's 5 names that you can start with.
Yep.
It would be Corbin Carroll.
I agree.
James Wood.
Yep.
Justin Tucker.
Yep.
Or Kyle Tucker, my bad. Pete Crow Armstrong.
Yep.
And Fernando Tatis.
I'm going to leave Tatis off for just right now.
Me too.
For me, the first one I'm locking in is PCA. And I know everybody, Mets, I don't care. It's a prospect. Corbin Carroll, 100% in as well. And I'm going to be a heavy advocate for James Wood. I'm a huge James Wood fan. He's been even look at his numbers. They're better than Kyle Tucker. And
they are slightly better than Kyle Tucker.
So I am 100% on the James Wood bandwagon.
I think he can be the lone representative for the. Oh no, he wouldn't be the lone representative.
No, Mackenzie Gore is getting in.
Yeah, but I'll agree with you there because I was kind of leaning James Wood as well over Kyle Tucker.
Yeah.
And PCA has been awesome. And Corbin Carroll, I think in a few years can make the argument for potentially being the best outfielder in baseball.
I think you can make that this year.
I still think that Aaron Judge guy's pretty
good. I meant National League.
National League, yes. He's the first one I would have clicked in the National League.
I think he's the number two outfielder in baseball.
Yeah. I think he's one of the very few, and I know you don't think of him like this. I would give Corbin Carroll 80 grade power.
I can see it.
For his size, he has 80 grade power.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
I think the designated hitters are pretty obvious.
It's Ohtani.
Ohtani.
You can make the argument for Schwarber, but you really can't.
You really can't. Ohtani has a better batting average, more home runs,
and
less RBIs.
I think there is an argument though in the American League.
I think it's Rafael Devers that's not particularly close.
I think it's between Devers and Rooker.
I don't think so.
I think that there's definitely.
Go ahead, give me your argument for Brent Rooker before I click in Rafael Devers.
Honestly, I think there's a chance that Rooker, even though we've mentioned Soderstrom, I know we've mentioned a couple other guys, there's a chance that Rooker may be one of the lone representative for the Oakland.
As a reserve, yes.
But no, you can make the argument either way. It's just what fans are going to vote more. And that's why I won't vote for Devers, because I know that Boston's going to represent him a lot. I'd rather get Brent Rooker into the All-Star game. I
think Brent Rooker makes it regardless, but I'm clicking Rafael Devers. He's a better batting average. I think he has the same amount of home runs, more RBIs, a better OPS. His stats in general are better than anything that Brent Rooker has to offer. And let's also think about it this way. Brent Rooker plays in an awesome offensive ballpark.
He does.
And what Rafael Devers is doing is still better offensively than Brent Rooker. So that's why I'm clicking in Rafael Devers. I understand your argument behind it. And I which one did I give you earlier? Oh, I gave you Jeremy Pena. I'm taking Rafael Devers.
That's fine. I'm not going to argue with you on that one. I like Rooker. I think Rooker is going to is solid. That's just me.
All right. So there we go. We have our voting done. For the American League, Spencer Torkelson, Gleyber Torres, Jose Ramirez, Jeremy Pena, Cal Raleigh, Aaron Judge, Riley Green, Stephen Kwan, and Rafael Devers. In the National League, Pete Alonso, Brendan Donovan, Manny Machado, Francisco Lindor, Will Smith, Corbin Carroll, James Wood, Pico Armstrong, and Shohei Ohtani. Before we head out, let's is there any other pitchers that are going to start the All-Star game other than Paul Skeens and Tariq Skubal?
I think there's I think
other than the scheduling doesn't line up for those two pitchers and they pitched right before the All-Star game.
Can I make an argument for a National League one?
Go for it.
Chris Sale.
No.
Excuse me? Where is this All-Star game being played?
True. It is in Atlanta.
Look at Chris Sale's stats. Yes.
Okay. I got a different argument as well.
Okay.
Because think about who would be the coaching staff of these teams of the American League and the National League.
The
it
Dodgers.
Would be Dave Roberts and the Dodgers coaching staff, and on the flip side, it would be the Yankees. It would be Aaron Boone and the Yankee staff coaching the American League.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just here's another hypothetical tin hat moment. Max Fried versus Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
I don't see it.
If they just go with their own guys.
They could realistically just go with their own guys. I'm not saying that they can't, and that's definitely a possibility. But I want, at the end of the day, it's an All-Star game that doesn't count.
Yes.
Towards anything. And it's in Atlanta. And you've gotten 14 starts, a 4-4 record, a 2.79 ERA, 80 in a third innings pitched, and 107 strikeouts for Chris Sale. I think that's good enough to get the nod. Yes, I realize where is Pittsburgh's Paul
Skeens, if he pitches when he pitches in the All-Star game, that'll be the most meaningful game he pitches all year.
I agree.
Other than maybe opening day.
Paul Skeens, 1.88 ERA, 92 strikeouts in 91 innings, 14 starts. Honestly, there's an argument either way for, do you want the best pitcher in baseball to pitch, or do you want a hometown guy to pitch? Yeah. And I could see it going either way.
All right. I just wanted to throw that out there. I still think it's going to be Skubal, and I think it's going to be Skeens, but we saw that last year.
And then American League, I wanted to make an argument for somebody else in the American League. Hunter Brown.
I think he could be second out of the pen.
Hunter Brown, 13 starts, an 8-3 record, a 1.82 ERA, 93 strikeouts, and 79 innings pitched. And then there was one other name in the National League that I want to bring up, and that's Mackenzie Gore. 14 starts, 3-5 record, 2.88 ERA, 81 in the third innings pitched, a league-leading 114 strikeouts, and it's not even halfway through the year.
I could see that argument.
That's my argument.
I think he definitely gets in if he's available.
I strongly believe that you could be. I can see that for sure.
But that is going to wrap it up for this edition of Talking Baseball with the Earle brothers. This is our phase 1 of voting, where we have that. And remember to vote. You want to see your players and you want to see your favorite players in the All-Star game? Vote. You can vote 5 times a day up till June 26th. So make sure to vote there. And then June 30th to July 2nd will be phase 2, which will decide the starters. But that's going to do it for this one. I want to thank you guys as always for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.